Your friend asks you whether or not you should accept a job offer. Don't go there. He will believe he made the decision himself. If he hates the job, it will be your fault, and you'll hear about it, possibly for a long time. In general, you don't get credit for the good decisions you help people make, only blame for the ones that turn out poorly. Just say, it has to be your decision. Your friend asks to borrow your clothes to wear. She has her own clothes, yet she often wants to wear yours. We are all taught to share. Besides, if you have lent items in the past, the friend will expect you to hand it over without a blink. If you say okay, you will be watching her in your new sweater, worrying about the underarm stain she might leave, or the spots she might add. You won't enjoy yourself. Besides, lending items precious to you is beyond the call of friendship. Sharing everything you own is not measurement of loyalty or a requirement. You don't have to share everything. You can answer with, I haven't decided what I'm wearing, or I paid a fortune for that, and I'm not lending it, not even to you. Your friend needs an extra pair of hands to rearrange the furniture. But some people ask for one thing and give you the while you are here story, getting you to do something else. You could be there hours longer than you planned. Should you decide to help, be very specific about the amount of time you have. Ask exactly what has to be moved and how long it will take. If you decide to say no, just say, wish I could, but I can't. Your friend needs help with her new device. On the surface, a half hour of computer instruction appears quite doable. But seemingly manageable requests have a way of escalating out of proportion into time-consuming commitments. Phone calls with questions about lost files, malfunctioning internet connections. All that can go wrong likely will, especially if you are dealing with someone who normally requires a lot of hand-holding. Respond with, no, I think you will learn faster from a professional. I really don't know enough. Be very specific about the amount of time you are willing to invest in someone else's technology literacy. Your friend is asking you to go to the most expensive restaurant in the area, and you don't want to spend the money, or really can't afford to. You won't enjoy one bite, because the price will be all you can think about. Except that you can't afford what your friend can. You can enjoy the meal and the company at a more moderately priced establishment. You can answer, no, let's go somewhere less expensive. People are not mind readers. No one knows that you object, unless you say so. A friend from high school calls out of the blue and suggests you meet for lunch next Saturday. The request means fitting someone else into your busy life. Before you agree, ask yourself whether you have anything in common with this person now. Is there a history you want to revisit or preserve? Is she fun, or is she a downer? What could she possibly want after all these years? Were you close years ago? If your answer is no, you can say, I can't meet you Saturday. If you really want to see her, you can add, try me in a few weeks. Don't try to cram someone from your past into your life when you can't think of a good reason to rekindle the relationship. Let's say you are a lawyer, decorator, architect by profession. People frequently and innocently ask you for advice and services without realizing that Your assistance or advice is something they should pay for. Being accommodating does not pay the rent. If you can, calmly explain to your friend that this is how you earn your living, and you can't afford to work without being paid for your time and expertise. I wish I could assist you, but I simply don't have the time available right now. Your friend calls you after work to invite you to a small dinner party at her place over the weekend. She asks you to bring salad, since she's got everything else covered. You are tired, and two things flash through your mind. No way do I want to be in charge of the salad, and I detest washing lettuce. When you are tired, your resistance is low, and you are apt to agree. Think what you can offer that doesn't take time to prepare. You can say, "No, not salad. I'll bring wine." Your coworker suggests you have lunch together. For no particular reason, you are having one of those days where you need to eat by yourself. Perhaps peruse social media or answer some texts. The last time you tried to take time for yourself, you told this coworker you needed to catch up on work, but she caught you Snapchatting, and you don't want to feel like having to explain yourself again. Everyone needs some space. Emphasize that to your coworker. You can say, "I'm having an off day. Please don't take offense, but I need to relax solo for about an hour." Don't say anything hurtful to the other person when you decline. Office parties are rarely command appearances. We just think they are. If you are married, with children, or have other social obligations, bosses and colleagues will understand your absence. And if you don't like parties, don't go. Most companies evaluate performance during business hours, not on how well you socialize or move on the dance floor. If you don't want to go to an office party, simply say, "I won't be able to make it this year." 2 days after the party, few, if anyone, will remember whether or not you were there. A client asks if you can have their project completed 2 weeks ahead of schedule. And you could, if you get compensated accordingly. You respond with, "I'm afraid it won't be possible to accelerate this timeline under the same terms we have agreed to. However, if you are able to increase the project budget by 10%, I can allocate more resources to speed up completion. Please let me know within 48 hours if that is acceptable, and otherwise expect to hear from me no later than our original deadline." Your stressed out coworker needs help with a task. You want to be a good sport, but it's your break time, and you don't want to work during your break. You can say, "I need to do a few things before my break ends. Give me at least a half an hour." Buying time works well in situations calling for your immediate aid. You are not bowing to someone else's timeline. Your parent is trying to engage you in a baby naming session to find out what names you are considering. And to be sure, you know what names she prefers. Most grandparents would like to have some say in naming your child. If you want to keep baby naming between you and your partner, inform your parents and in-laws that you want no help, and will tell them the baby's name when he or she is born. You tell your 4-year-old it's time to leave the playground. He doesn't want to leave, screams and throws himself on the ground. When a child is happily engaged in an activity, the thought of stopping feels unreasonable. He is angry, and that feeling, like other emotions, should be acknowledged. Say, I know you are angry, but it's time to go. Let's make a plan to come back soon. It's tempting to give in when your child is screaming, and you feel judged by other adults within earshot, but resist the temptation. Without being stopped, your child will come to learn she can tyrannize and bully you. Although her endeavor at bossy behavior is unacceptable, you want to name what she is feeling, so she can learn to interpret her emotions. Your sister, brother, or other relative asks at the last minute to babysit for her. She does this regularly, and you usually save her. In her mind, you can be counted on to be there whenever she needs you. When people take advantage of you, the most serious repercussion is the irritation you feel for making yourself available to others 24/7. Unless they can't be helped, short notice requests, because of poor planning, are inconsiderate. Respond by saying, I can't this weekend. I am always delighted to have the children, but I have to have a bit of advance warning.